In 2024, I'm going to be working across the whole year with writers, would-be writers, variously doing mentoring, helping to edit, and very close hands-on work, and also more distant occasional courses, and really looking forward to having you join me. If you are someone who enjoys writing, and if you're someone who doesn't much enjoy writing, either way, if you're someone who wants to do some writing, or kind of has to do some writing and wants to do that writing, then I hope that you will join me over 2024 while I am running a thing that I'm calling a writer's year. This is going to involve, among other things, a monthly drop-in for anyone wrestling with any writing things. That's for members of the writer's year. And as well as that, I'm going to be doing occasional one-off courses, at least one of them every month. And I'm, to a limited extent, available to do more hands-on work with a smaller number of people, which I've now done for several years in a row. And I'm just finishing working with someone on a huge manuscript for a book which is going to be published by a big publisher in the US and the UK, and very probably elsewhere too. And so I'm really keen to share what I picked up working with him and with some others. And one of the things I want to share right now is just a little taster of how I use a couple of AI tools. And one of those AI tools is called Otter. Don't ask me why. Otter, like the animal, otter.ai. And with Otter, what I tend to do is record my sessions with writers, whether it's a one-to-one or the group workshops or anything else that I do. And I record myself talking to Otter. And I keep the transcript, and I look at the transcript, and I work it over, and I shape it, and I put some sense into it, using the AI as an accelerated way to make that work. And I think it might be something that you would like to do. And I suspect that you may be like me, kind of wish that AI hadn't been invented and wish that it would go away, but it isn't going to go away right now anyway. And I'm keen to know what it can do so that I understand it in the world politically, and also so that I can take advantage of the good sides of that. Now, going back to what I actually did, I used Otter a couple of days ago, well, just before Christmas. You may be able to see on this thing here, I'm screen sharing. I made a note to myself under the title Work with Authors 2023. And I wanted to fine-tune some of the things that I have found a little bit frustrating, because they're little logistical things. So I just ranted into my phone, basically. Not much of a rant, but I'll tell you what I said, the first few words anyway. I'm not going to, I don't want to name anyone, that's why I'm not going to tell you more, because some of the things that I talk about were connected with a certain type of work, and it's no one's fault but mine if anything was frustrating. But I don't want to repeat whatever it was, so I'm keeping it all anonymous. This is what I said to my phone. I want to record some thoughts about my experiences working in 2023 with writers writing books, so that I can refine my strategy for how I work with writers and do it more efficiently with maximum benefit for them and much less wasting time myself. So there are various things that I need to download, and they may not be download off my mind, and they may not be in correct sequence or anything, but there are issues that have come up. That would be so much easier if I didn't have to deal with them. So one of the issues that's come up is that people ask me to help, and then they don't actually do much for a while, or the work together gets mysteriously extended quite dramatically over time. I happen to mention that because the person who I was working with in December had intended to finish in October, and that caused a certain amount of logistical complication. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. This isn't about them. This is about how I use the AI, specifically in this case Otter, and how you can use it. Because what I do after doing the recording, and after Otter has generated a transcript like this, which may or may not be correct, but somehow Otter still makes sense of it. After that, what I tend to do is go into a thing called Otter Chat, and I ask Otter what have I just talked about? What was this meeting about? So Otter makes sense of the meeting for me. So let's have a look. This is what I asked. I said, Otter, what are the action items from this meeting? Otter thinks everything's a meeting, even if it's just me talking to my phone. And Otter said, some key action items from the meeting include developing a payment schedule and terms and conditions for working with writers, setting clear timelines and cut-off dates for projects, etc., etc. You can see it on your screen. I was fairly sure that Otter hadn't covered everything, so I just said, what else? And Otter said, additional action items mentioned include sending monthly updates to clients to check on their progress and get feedback on struggles. There, I'm not going to read it all. I just wanted to show you. I think this is a really remarkable device for giving myself clarity. And what happened towards the end of 2023 was that one of the authors I'm working with, the one I just mentioned actually, got very excited by what was possible with Otter. So the conversation that we had about this author's book, his book, were recorded and sent to Otter, and I sent a link to those particular Otter things, which are not publicly available unless I send a link. And this author told me that he listened to them again and again when he was cooking or, I don't know, running or whatever. And he can listen to the conversation at twice the normal speed, which is quite funny. And he just kept on getting more and more from it. So this is one of the reasons why I'm keen to embrace this technology, because I can keep on getting more and more precise, useful value for people, and not only from the moments when I'm talking to them. Now, as it happens, you may be curious about how else I work with this author. There was a time when we worked digitally on the same document and I would make suggested edits. But I truly believe that it's better for a writer to have an editor make marks that you have to really sort of think about and do something with. So I ended up switching from digital edits, which are too easy for him to just accept or delete or whatever, him or any other writer. And I started writing in red pencil on pieces of paper, adding my comments and suggestions. And of course, it's his book, so he must do whatever he likes with my suggestions. But then I scanned the sheets of paper, sometimes many, many sheets of paper all at once, sent them to him so he could look at my comments. And then if he wanted to act on them, he would have to actually do the typing himself. And I think that's just a much better experience for a writer, to feel oneself doing the edit. And it's not just me who said that. I think he agrees too. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say now. If you're interested in finding out more about A Writer's Year, which I want to be accessible to all budgets at different levels, so I'm not going to do very close hands-on work for virtually no money, but I will attempt to cater to everybody by doing pre-recorded things and downloads and so on. And I'm really excited about it, and I really want people who want to do some writing to get something from it. I hope that might be you. Bye.